Shalom. All right, Shalom, Shalom first and foremost. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well, and hearty Shalom to the elect. All right, it's your brother Karatas up back again with another camp day through the Spirit Property. How about you, Mount Shai? Let's get right into it. This is in the book of Second Ezra. Second Ezra, the 16th chapter, verse 1. It says, "Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Assyria. Woe be unto thee, Egypt." Salakia, let me start over. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Assyria. All right, woe means death and destruction, okay? And for the most part, what I know is the majority of the death and destruction that is coming to the world is going to be because of the wickedness. It's going to be because of the hurt and the slaying and the murdering, the violence towards the children of Israel. All right, and it's mostly, from my understanding, it's going to be pointed over here at America. These other nations are going to feel the wrath of the Lord. Okay, but most of the anger of the Lord is going to be towards this land and the people that are in current rulership, which is you so-called white people. Okay, Edomites. All right. It says here, so death and destruction is on its way toward you. Okay. It says here, gird up yourselves for with cloth of sack, and here bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. All right, even the children, the Lord's gonna kill the children and the old, the young and the middle age. Okay, the Lord's gonna slay a lot of people, a lot of everybody. Okay, all right. Let me look up this word destruction, because that's what's coming. Destruction is coming. It's not safety that's coming. The Lord's bringing forth utter destruction. All right. I got too much stuff over. Let's try this again. All right, so for the word destruction in the verb sense is to destroy. Let's see. Let's load up. Phone going slow for some reason. It says ruin, pulling down, destruction. This is for the destruction in the noun sense. It says ruin, pulling down, and the Lord is going to pull down America. Okay, the Lord's going to bring this place down. All right, there's more I want to get, but I want to get this precept first. All right, this is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1. It says here, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh, yeah, I love Jacob. All right, so the Lord loved his people. Okay, all right. It says here, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return to build the desolate places. And this is what they did. This is why America is after the Roman Empire, okay, around the 14th century, and within that 1400 year mark, okay, Esau Edom was able to come through with the Renaissance all right, and bring back his old estate, bring back what it is that he was, okay? All right, where he was in power, okay? All right, he was able to change the way of the Lord looked. He was able to come over here and pillage the land from the northern kingdom tribes, okay? And today he has he has used the woman and financial means or gain against us. When I say us, the so-called black and Latino and Native American Indian man, to further emasculate us. Okay, Esau Edom has done all this, and then look at his technological advances, which is even going to further destroy the minds and the bodies of the people. Okay, the minds, because AI is just another technological advanced tool to take you from the away from the power of thinking. And then you have these robots. I just seen one. I seen some videos where they teaching the robots how to dance and fight and shit like that. And then this robot, I saw a video where the robot was at a party of some sort dancing, and the robot kicked the kid. Whether the kid was in the way of the robot or vice versa, or the robot was just doing whatever it was programmed to do in the sense of attacking the kid. All right, if you want to think of that nature, all right, because that's coming soon, where the robots are going to take over. All right, but nonetheless, the technological advances are going to further destroy the people. All right, physically and mentally, as I just explained. All right, and I'm only speaking to you tribes, man. The rest of the nations I can care less about. Okay, if they don't care about you, and you can see that just recently within the news with this Chinese dude just killed this whole so-called black man, this black kid. Okay, for what he thought was stealing, and he didn't steal nothing. He didn't steal anything. Well, ultimately, if you have any wisdom, you understand that that judgment for that young kid was from the Lord. Okay, all right. That's another topic for another day. But this is going back into Malachi. Esau Edom built himself up off the back of you so-called black and brown people. That's another thing to add to it. Okay, but it says here, continuing in verse 4, they shall build. Okay, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness and the people against you, whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. And these are all tall tale signs of who the so-called white man is, which is Esau. Okay, all right. He built this place up. Everybody knows Esau is wicked, and the things that the so-called white man do is wicked. All right, all this stuff with child pornography and child molestation, these sacrifices. You see how the president's running the world. All types of shit that shows Esau's wickedness is being brought forth to the light. Okay. All right, verse 5 it says, and your eyes shall see, and ye shall say, Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel. Okay. All right. So the things that the Lord is going to do, all right, in regards to destroying America, putting us back into our places, all right, we're going to be singing praises unto the Lord. And then also throughout the scriptures, the Lord says, everybody shall know him. So that's how the Lord's name is, that's how the Lord's going to be magnified beyond the borders of Israel. Okay. All right, because the world is going to give praises unto you. How about you, Mount Shai? Because righteousness is within the earth, peace is within the earth. All right, from the smallest organism that cannot be seen with the human eye, all right, to the biggest living thing that is possible is going to be giving praises unto the Lord, man. Okay, all right, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, because there's going to be peace. Okay, all right, it's going to be happiness. Let me go get this in. Isaiah 11, then I'll get back to Ezekiel. I'll get back to 2nd Ezra 16. This is Isaiah 11, at verse 1. It says, and there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And the spirit of Yahweh shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh. Okay, this is talking about Yahweh's side, man. Okay, it says here, and he shall make him of quick understanding and the fear of Yahweh. And he shall not judge after the sight of eyes, neither reprove after the hearing of ears. All right, so when the Lord comes to bring forth judgment, it's going to be righteous judgment. It's not going to be judgment based on hearsay or what he sees. It's going to be judgment based on the law, statutes, and commandments. And if you transgress those law, statutes, and commandments, there's going to be a decision that's made on the behalf of you. Okay, and that judgment, it can either be death, all right, or a disease, something that could be harmful, or the Lord can have mercy. Okay, but we don't want to test the Lord. Okay, verse 4, it says, "But with righteousness he shall judge the poor and reprove the equity for the meek of the earth." And that's you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And we're the poor. We're the first ones fired, the last ones hired. We are the ones that, are, just like it says in the book of Deuteronomy, all right, we are the tail, all right, and our enemy, in this case, Esau Edom, is the head. Let me get that right. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 44. Let me start up. 43, it says, "The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." Okay, and that's what it's going to be. That's how it is, and that's why we are the first. We are low right now. We are the poor. Okay, all right. We are the poor who the Lord is going to come deliver. All right, who the Lord is coming to save. The meek, more specifically, is the Lord's elect. Okay, because to be meek means to be humble or low. Okay, all right, and yes, Jake is as low as a whole. Okay, all right. We're the Lord's elect are the meek. Okay, because they're humbling themselves to the Lord. All right, the rest of the Lord's people are not doing that. As far as the Israelites, the elect are going to humble themselves to the Lord. All right, we're going to come out here and make our bodies a living sacrifice, and if the Lord's will, we'll make our a living sacrifice. Okay, for the name's sake of Yahweh Shema outside. Okay, by meaning by the sense of losing our lives. Okay, all right. It says here, continuing on, verse 4, Isaiah 4 and 11, 11 and 4, Salakia. "But with righteousness shall he judge the poor and reprove the equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked." All right, and this is what's going to happen. All right, this is what the Lord is going to do for our sake on our behalf. Okay, all right, and it's for you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians. This is what's going to happen in order for us to get put into the place of righteousness, which was ours from the foundations of the earth. Okay? All right? We just have to live out what we're living out. Okay? Okay? Going, yeah, let me get this. This is in Second Ezra, chapter 13, and this is talking about the return of the Lord. And I'm going to get straight to the point. I'm going to just read it. This is 2 Ezra 1 and 13 and 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there rose a wind from the sea, and it moved all the waves thereof. And behold, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. All right, everybody's going to be afraid at the return of the Lord, man. Revelation, it tells you that every knee is going to bow. Also, I think it's in the New Testament as well, saying that at the name of Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, every knee shall bow. I can't remember where though. It's outside of Revelation. I could find it, but nonetheless, it says, "Whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire." Those laser beams, man. Okay, from the chariots, man. The Lord's going to come through on a chariot, man. And after this, I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue him that came out of the sea. So these other nations' military are going to try to fight against the Lord. It says here, but I beheld, and lo, he had given himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. When I had seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, I could not. And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were to gather together to subdue him were so afraid, and yet there's fight. The Lord gonna put the spirit on them to fight. Okay, all right. It says here, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, out of his breath, out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips, a breath out of his tongue. He cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all together, and they were mixed all together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, burned them up everyone, so that upon the sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. All right, Ezra saw this and he was afraid. Just imagine seeing it in person. Just imagine you being out there on the front line fighting for Esau's military in World War III, and boom, the Lord come through, crack the clouds, and light your ass up. Okay? The Lord gonna light people up out here to the point where they're gonna be literally on fire. All right, literally on fire. Okay. Let me go back to Isaiah 11. This is Isaiah 11. So that's how the Lord's gonna slay the wicked, like it said in Isaiah 11 and 4. Okay. And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins, all right, of his mind. The Lord's gonna be faithful in his mind to the will of Yahweh, to the will of Yahweh. Okay? This says we should strive to be faithful to the will of the Lord in our mind. All right, verse 6, it says, the wolf also shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling to get together, and a little child shall lead them. So you see that? That's peace. That's what we get when we coming into the Lord's kingdom. We're about to have peace and safety. And this is what it looks like. And the cow and the bear shall feed; their young ones shall lie down together. The lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the ass, and the weaned child shall put his hand in the cockatrice's den. We're gonna be so perfected, so in tune with the world that nothing is gonna harm us. Okay, even a baby dealing with snakes is not gonna be harmed. Okay, it says here, they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. So the Lord's name is going to be magnified through the borders of the world, like we had read, beyond the borders of Israel, like we had read in Malachi 1:5. All right, because the world is going to be filled with the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh. All right, because one, that's the will of the Lord. Two, righteousness is going to be in the world. And three, wickedness is going to be gone. Okay, all right. Just some water. All right, let me see. Now let me go back to Second Esdras. Second Esdras 16. All right, the destruction of America is at hand. So with that being said, our deliverance is coming. All right, our we got next is coming. All right, we in the next rulership seat under Yahweh Shemal Shah. Okay, we have next. All right, so it says here, um, verse 3, 2nd Ezra 16:3. A sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? All right, the sword is going to be one, these thermonuclear missiles, these armies preparing themselves to fight America. Okay, all right, the so-called greatest country in the world. Okay, all right, it says here, and it's these pestilences are going to come from within and without, and it's all sanctioned by the Lord. Okay, it says here, a fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and who is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it has begun to burn? The answer is no. So when the Lord brings these plagues upon America from within and from without, because of politics, finances, morality, wickedness as a whole, corruption, injustice, all right, there's going to be these plagues. The fire can come from with people rioting within the cities or within the states. The fire can come from the missiles that the nations are going to send over here. Okay, the plagues can come from the dead bodies. Okay, from because of the famine, because of murder, because of killing, because of the lack of bread. Okay, all right, all these things are going to happen. All right, just as the Lord has it written, just as it is that I'm saying, because I'm reading what the scriptures say. All right, continuing on, it says, may one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The answer is no. How you gonna stop it as it pierces the air that you can't even see? How you gonna catch it and it's coming at you at maybe hundreds of miles per hour, depending on how it's shot and from what distance and whatever force is coming from that archer. All right. How you gonna stop these thermonuclear missiles that's gonna come from these other nations because of the deception and injustice and straight wickedness that America has done throughout the globe? How are you going to stop that? The answer is nothing. No way. Your missile defense system is not going to stop it. Somebody putting a board up to stop an arrow from penetrating them could not potentially stop it. Okay, depending on the thickness of the board. But these missile defense systems that America has, they're spread thin throughout the world right now because of this riffraff back and forth with Iran. Okay, this is stuff that I'm just hearing. All right, then you have this is what I've heard over the time. You have America not being able to supply what it is that they need for this war because the munitions are being thin, uh, overly used in other places, and this one, as far as the transportation and, well, just let me say this: the logistical aspect of getting those weapons and the ammunition to the people has probably changed as well because of gas and oil. All right. Um, but the resources are not getting to the war fighters because it's not being produced as much. On top of that, there were bids out or contracts given to car manufacturers to start producing weapons for war because war is growing up. Okay, But everything that Esau Edom is doing is going to be to his own detriment. Okay, the building up of war is going to be to his own detriment. The changing of the financial structure is going to be to his own detriment. All right, having the Lord's people in captivity and allowing your brother, because Jacob is your brother, to be mistreated by these other nations, the Lord's going to pay you and them back for that. Okay, so there's no turning back the plague that the Lord has set for this place. There's no turning back the strong archer that bended his bow to come and destroy a thing, a person, or a place, which is going to be America in its totality. Okay, right here, this is 2 Ezra 16 and 8. It says, "The mighty Lord Yahweh sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" The Lord is sending all this stuff. Everything that I mentioned through the Spirit, the Lord is sending it all. There's nothing that the Lord's not going to have out here that's going to touch somebody that's meant to receive that type of judgment from the Lord if it's horrible. Okay? All right? It says here, "A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it?" All right, that fire is going to come from those chariots, those thermonuclear missiles. All right, that's what that fire is equivalent to within the wrath of the Lord. Okay, all right. Of course, it's anger. Of course, it's discontent for the way the world is going. Okay, and the Lord's going to show forth his anger and his discontent for how the world is going through the acts of war, through the acts of those chariots coming through, shoot laser beams. Okay, all right. The Lord is going to come out with some far out stuff. Look at all the stuff that Esau Edom has built up for his armies. Okay, whether they be American armies or armies of another nation, they all are tied to the development and production of of a killing machine, a sword, a killing instrument. Okay, all right, and it's used in many different means. What I mean by that is you have American-made guns that are being used everywhere throughout the world, and then you have, like, let's say, German-made guns that's being used and manufactured throughout the world. All right, things are different, but it's still a sword, and their sword is going to fall upon them. What I mean by that, in a person-to-person exchange, right? Let's say that there was a war going on, a physical combat war. A soldier could die, have his weapon picked up by another soldier from the opposing army, and then go kill then go kill another soldier from the same army of which he retrieved that weapon. Okay, all right, or vice versa. Either or, it's not. It's the only thing that's going to matter is Esau Edom's sword falling upon him, man. All right, and it's going to come in the form of different means. Okay, all right, the thermonuclear missiles, um, and all these other technological advances that these people have in a sense of war. The Lord is bringing it. The Lord is allowing them to have it, and since the Lord is allowing him to have it, and it's great technology, imagine what the Lord's going to come with, man. Okay? Imagine what the Lord's going to come with. That's my whole point. I was just rambling. Let me stop it. It says here, "A fire shall go forth from his wrath," verse 9, and who is he that may quench it? The answer is nobody. "He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid." All right, everybody's going, like I had mentioned earlier. All right, people are going to bow at the knee of the Lord, man. All right, because of the wrath that he's bringing, because of the destruction that he's bringing, because of the death that he's bringing. All right, and it's all to bring forth righteousness in the world, set his people up. Because if you look at history, that's how it goes. One kingdom is set up because another one got thrown down. One kingdom is thrown down because another one come to set themselves up, and they came with great power and the capacity to overcome and win the war. This is what the Lord Yahweh Shai is coming with: great power and capacity to overcome and win the war. Okay? It says here, Yahweh shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence. We just read what the Lord did in 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter, with the wrath that he's coming with the chariots, the thermonuclear missiles, okay? And all the angelic power that you could possibly imagine the Lord will have, okay? All right, it says here, the earth quaketh and the foundations thereof, the sea arises up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before Yahweh, and before the power of his glory. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. All right, the Lord's thermonuclear missiles. All right, the armory of the Lord has been opened. And I think that's Jeremiah 50 or 25. Okay, and it's filled with his indignation. All right, there was two things. There was some precepts that came to my mind when I was reading those that precept. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, chapter 3. 3 and 1. It says, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Shai Geonath. O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. Because the Lord is coming with wrath. All the things that I just read, the Lord is bringing the fire. Who's going to stop him? He's bringing the plagues. Who's going to stop him? When the Lord brings forth, when the Lord stretches forth his hand to shoot the arrow, just roughly paraphrasing, who's going to stop his bow? All right? Nothing and nobody, man. So we need the Lord to remember mercy. Remember mercy, Yahweh Shema Shai, when you come forth to destroy this place, because it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be a walk in the park for the world. All right? The Lord is coming to do damage, okay? And it's not going to be a walk in the park for his elect, okay? Because we have to go through that straight gate. But while going through that straight gate, okay, we have to go through adversity. All right, we have to go through ups and downs. Okay. It says here, O Yahweh, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known in wrath, remember mercy. All right, and we need the Lord to remember mercy. Here it says right here, Yahweh came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran said, "La, his glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full with his presence, with his praise." Salaki. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. All right, that word for horns, it says rays flashing. Those lasers, man. Okay, lasers. All right. It says here, before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. All right, you see the Lord bringing the pestilence and the fire. Okay. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations. The everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. All right, the ways of the Lord are everlasting. Look at how he came into the earth. Everything is going to be moved at the presence of the Lord. All right, and his ways are everlasting. How he moves, his conduct, who he is, the law, statutes, and commandments are everlasting. Okay, they're everlasting to the point where when we get into the kingdom, he's going to put them in our inward parts. Okay, it says here, I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was Yahweh displeased with the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thine wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. That's what the Lord is coming with, chariots of salvation. All right, the Lord is angry with these nations because of what it is that they're doing to his people. The Lord's going to avenge his people against these nations when he returns. Okay, and this is what it is that we need. This is what it is that I need. All right, this is what it is that I need. My people need this. All right, especially of those that are praying and hoping for salvation from Yahweh Shai upon his return. Okay, all right, because we need it. I need it. Okay, Because we're not. How are we going to escape the Lord when He comes with this great wrath that I'm reading about? Okay. All right. Verse 9. Thy bow was made quite naked according to the oath of the tribes, even thy words say lie. That thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee and they trembled. The overflow of the water passed by, and the deep uttered its voice and lifted up hands on high. The Lord moving the elements as He pleases when He moves throughout the earth. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation at the light of thine arrows. They went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear, thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thrust the heathen in anger. This is how the Lord is coming to move. This is all what's prophesied as far as what the Lord's coming to do. He's coming to thresh the heathen in anger. Okay? And that word for thresh is to trample. All right, the Lord's going to trample down on the nations, man. You so-called white people, you so-called Indians, all you people, man. You Somalians, all right, you Hamites, you Africans, all of y'all, man. The Lord got a trick in his up his sleeve for all of y'all. Okay. All right. Let me get this. Oh no, let me keep going. It says here, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation of thine anointed. Thou woundest the head of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto thy neck. All right, the Lord is coming to get his people. But most importantly, his anointed. His anointed. Israel is going to be saved as a whole, but on this go around, the Lord is coming to get his chosen, his anointed. All right. And on top of that, the Lord's coming to the house of the wicked, man, to destroy them. It says here, thou woundedest the head of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. All right, the Lord is going to fuck Esau, eat him up, man, as I had read. Okay. Um, Let me get this, because again, I was talking about the armory of the Lord. I think it's Jeremiah 50. Yep. This is Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle was in the land and of great destruction. This is talking about this is what's going to happen in America, to America. Okay. It says here, a sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Because of the words of Yahweh Shema Shah, first and foremost. Because of the will of Yahweh Shema Shah. Then the words of the Lord. Then the word of Yahweh Shema Shah being brought to pass because it's prophecy. Because everything that the Lord said that will happen, it is going to happen. Okay? All right? It says here, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. How has Esau Edom strove against the Lord? How has America strove against the Lord? Look at what it's doing look at what America, not the land, but the people that run and orchestrate America through the oppression, okay, treat the Lord's people. Look at how the Lord's people were treated back in the days. Okay, biblical times which we are still in, but Old Testament times. Okay, look at what uh, Esau said about Jacob, that he was gonna slay his brother. Look at what Cain did to Abel. All right, this is why. This is how. And it's judgment from the Lord. Ultimately, all of it is. That is how Esau Edom has striven against the Lord. All the things I just mentioned. It says, Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. The plagues, the fire, the pestilences, the diseases, okay? The war, the missiles, okay? Um, that's it. The mass death, okay? All right, that the Lord is going to bring accumulates unto all of that, all right? All of what I just mentioned, all right? It says, come against her from the uttermost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. This is the outcome for America. Nothing left, empty. All right, like when you turn over, when you was a kid and you would turn over the box of cereal to get all of the end of it, to get all of it out, then to the point where you would get crumbs. Well, there's not even going to be any crumbs in the box of America because the electric is going to be delivered up out of it, and everything else is going to be destroyed. Everything else is going to be destroyed. Everything else will burn by fire. Everything's going to burn by fire here. And there's not going to be anything left, man, but the dangerous animals that the Lord has said that will be here. That's it. That is it. Okay? So it says here, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come in the time of their visitation. All right, and that visitation word goes into what verse is that? 27. It goes into punishment. All right, so the punishment is going to be for America, those plagues that I mentioned. All right, that the scriptures mentioned. Let me say that. Okay. It says here, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our power, the vengeance of his temple. The ones that's going to be able to escape are the elect. Okay, all right. It says here, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she hath done, do unto her, for she hath been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. All right, that's what Esau Edom has done, is doing, is continuing to do, all the way up until this new world order is at the point where the Lord's going to knock it down. The Lord going to come through like a kid kicking over somebody's Lego blocks that they've been stacking up for years. The Lord's going to come through with his foot and just knock it all over. Okay, and America's going to be a heap of nothingness. Okay, all right, a heap of nothingness. All right. It says here, verse 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh of hosts, for thy day is come that I will visit thee. All right, the Lord's going to visit this man. All right, the Lord is going to kill this man. Literally, this system that he has is going down. The Lord is going to do it, man. I'm just reading, okay? It says here, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall rise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. The Lord gonna put a fire through this place, man, as the Lord allowed me to read in Second Esdras, okay? That fire is gonna come from the thermonuclear missiles, okay? They're gonna have the spirit of the Lord in the thermonuclear missiles, okay? All right. It says here, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all they that took them captives held them fast, they refused to let them go. Look at the oppression. You just, again, I mentioned it, Jake Hill was just shot. And the back, I believe in his back on his way out the gas station by a Moabite or Ammonite, okay? I can't remember if he was a Chinese or a Japanese dude. It don't matter. he was the enemy of the children of Israel. Okay, all right. And Esau Edom is allowing this man. All right. Well, I'm not trying to incite nothing. It doesn't really matter. But Esau Edom is this man and Esau Edom is in cahoots with one another to the point where they have a system where they let one where they are favorable towards each other and disfavorable towards these so-called black and brown people. All right, verse 34 it says, "Their Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon." And this is what the Lord is going to do, man. To disquiet somebody. Let's see. Let's look at what that word disquiet means. All right, disquiet. It says deprive of peace, rest, or tranquility. Want of quiet, well, which means want means to lack something. Rest or peace. To trouble, disrupt, disturb. All right, that's what the Lord's going to do. Disturb, disrupt, bring troubles upon this place. Okay, let me go get it in the blue letter. Jeremiah 15:30. All right, it says here, regaz is the Hebrew word for disquiet. It says to tremble, quake, rage, quiver, be agitated, be perturbed, all right, to enrage, disrupt. And this is what the Lord is going to do to America. He's going to have this place shaken up, disruption. There's going to be disruption and chaos everywhere, okay? Because our people love to have America to the point where they're going to die for this place when they take this CHIP, okay? Verse 35, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, says Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars and all they that dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. Okay? A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. So the Lord has a sword for everybody. All right. Again, all the people that's gonna be here in America, if you are not of the Lord's elect, all right, whether it be that innumerable multitude or the 144,000, you're not gonna get up out of here, man. Okay, you're not gonna get up out of here. All right. You're not making it. Okay. And with you not making it, with you not getting up out of here, there's only one thing for you: the sword. We just went through a category of people, all right, that the Lord has a sword for, and I guarantee you, if you are the Lord's, if you are slated to be of the Lord's destruction, okay, all right, you are within that list that I just read, okay. Verse 38: a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. And that's happening now. Water is being dried up throughout America because these data centers are being set up. But ultimately, looking at it from this point of view, when those thermonuclear missiles hit, everything's going to be sucked up and dispersed throughout the world, throughout the land. Because I think when those missiles hit, and that missile that That mushroom cloud comes, it sucks everything up and it disperses it out as you see the mushroom portion, the ring portion around the mushroom cloud. That's what I think happens. All right. But the water's going to be dried up. It's being dried up now. All right, continuing in verse 38. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Right? People are insane with Jesus Christ. People are insane with Buddha and Allah. All right? That Muslim bullshit and this Christianity bullshit, the Lord's people are overly saturated with that shit. Okay? All right? It says here, therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there. Same thing it says in Isaiah the 34th chapter. And because if this was old Babylon, why are people over there now? All right, this got to be talking about America. Anyway, and it shall not be inhabited no more forever. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. This is not talking about Iraq, ancient Babylon. This is talking about America. Okay, this is how the Lord's going to do America. This is America's future. It says, as Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. Are people still dwelling in Iraq, my ancient day Babylon? Yes, they are. Are people dwelling in Sodom and Gomorrah? No. All right, America is going to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah, where there's nobody going to be dwelling there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep reading. Behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the earth, from the coast of the earth. These other nations, uh, Russia, okay, and its allies, okay, are already against America. Then you're gonna have this beast system turn up against America, okay, all right. Where it says the beast shall hate the whore, there you go. That's it right there, okay. It says here they shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array like a man to the battle against the old daughter of Babylon. So these nations are gonna come against America, as you can see geopolitically happening. All right, it's not happening on the physical front as far as war, but that's coming. It says here, the king of Babylon hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as travail of a woman, and pangs as of a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan upon the habitation of the strong, that I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me that appoint me the time, and who is the shepherd that will stand for me? Therefore ye that hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he has purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their land. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. You see that happening with Iran. Okay, these smaller nations standing up against America. All right, these nations eventually are going to stand up against America. Okay, it says, at the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. All right, this is what's going to happen. All right, this is what's going to happen to America. The Lord is going to come destroy this place, man. All right, this is what the Bible reads. This is not no private interpretation of my own. This is what the Bible says. Okay, I just have to read it to see it. And what they say, seeing is believing. Well, if you don't believe what it is that the Lord has read for you to hear, or for you to read, then you're going to see it, and then by that time it's going to be too late. All right, but Lord, when He was edified, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule on Teach World, Hardy Shalom to elect. Kwame Sharala, Mawaf Alabala, Yahweh Mahar, Hussein Rabba, Shalom.